Good morning, everybody. I think everybody knows who I am at the moment, so if not, I'm Jimmy Wilcock. I'm the Customer Success Team Manager here at Win Systems. And today we're talking about generating revenue from idle equipment with external initiatives, I will call it. And I'm really thrilled to be able to have, it's actually a win first, a virtual dial-in. So unfortunately, we couldn't get Jason and Mike in the room with us today. So we went for the next best option, which was to dial them in. So I know we've spoken a lot over the last kind of 24 hours about innovation, technology, AI, but everybody in this room, raise your hand up if every day you have a problem with Teams. Because I do. I'm always on mute. So first up, we're going to introduce Jason Reed from BAM Construction. Jason's the managing director over at BAM. We've had a very, very strong relationship with Jason for a number of years. So Jason was appointed as managing director of BAM Site Solutions back in 2022. Jason's responsible for the management and development of their in-house equipment operation. Jason originally joined the company in 1986 as an apprentice electrician. After a period working away in the electrical and services engineering sector, Jason rejoined BAM in 2007 and progressed through a number of roles from electrical contracts manager to general manager. Jason's got a wealth of experience in the industry, over 30 years working in the construction industry. Jason brings sound technical knowledge and business acumen to ensure BAM Site Solutions provides a high quality, competitive support services to all of their sites and leverages best value and innovation from their strong supply chain. So BAM and Win have had a relationship that dates back to 1998. There's been a huge amount of technological change in that time period, and we've kind of walked that walk together over that time period. So I'm thrilled to have Jason with us today. Jason's actually in the UK, so it's currently it's dinner time in the UK. It's about 7 p.m.
I'll survive.
You'll survive, yeah. My body clock allowed me to have 2 hours sleep last night. So we're thrilled to have Jason here with us today. So Jason's going to talk to us a little bit about their Rehire project. So they've gone on a transformation journey over the last couple of years and consolidate a lot of their business processes down. And I'm going to introduce now Jason Reed to talk to us about the value and the benefit of that project. Over to you, Jason.
Great. Thanks, Jimmy. And good morning, everyone. It's really great to join you. I do wish I could be there in person, but unfortunately, that wasn't a possibility. So this is a really good best second, I suppose. So what I'm going to do really today is set the scene a little bit about and talk about BAM Site Solutions and give an overview, a bit about who we are, what we do, and how we're evolving to support the wider BAM UK and Ireland business, which is in essence our parent company. So BAM Site Solutions is a dedicated business unit within BAM UK and Ireland, which is the division of the Royal BAM Group. We were formed from a merger of two internal plant companies, and we're now proud to be in our third year of trading. Our mission is to support BAM UK and I projects, with temporary solutions they need throughout the construction phase of a project. We ensure these are delivered safely, efficiently, and cost effectively. We believe we deliver a really great end-to-end solution for site delivery. Our offer is broad but sharply focused on what infrastructure and construction projects truly need. We provide non-operated plant, tools, equipment, and survey products. We also provide temporary accommodation and associated infrastructure services, PPE, workwear and consumables. So in fairness, whether it's a tower light, a welfare unit or a waterproof high-vis jacket, we've got it covered. We operate from 4 depots strategically located across the UK, giving us the ability to provide a truly national service. We have over 140 employees, and they're the engine behind everything we do, from operational delivery to managing our supply network. This is really important as we work with both our own self-delivery fleet and a carefully managed network of what we call Rehire partners, giving us a flexible and scalable offer. Just speaking to our Rehire model, it's one of our key strengths in our blended model. We balance our own fleet and service teams with a network of preferred Rehire partners. This means we can stay agile We respond fast, keep control of quality and service, and always make the best commercial decisions for BAM. We refer to this external support as Rehire, and managing it well is one of the key things to us delivering value and efficiency for our business. Now to the rent results thing. I mean, at the heart of our service is our ERP system, and the rental result sits within that. Jimmy's already mentioned, I think I was going to say over 20 years, Jimmy, because that's how long I've been here, but I think it goes back an extra 10 in fairness. The system gives us complete visibility of the hire life cycle. It really gives us that ability to look at right the way from request to return, including the logistics, billing and reporting. But getting to the exciting bit really for this year, we're now delivering a significant transformation project. So starting in Q3 of this year, all non-operated plant and equipment transactions across BAM in the UK will be channeled through BAM Site Solutions using the rental result as our ERP. Just to put this into context, once fully implemented, this will be over £70 million worth in transactions per year, both internal and external, and they'll be managed through both our team and our system. But really looking at it in a slightly different way, this is more than just a system project because the benefits to BAM and specifically Site Solutions will be substantial. What we'll gain is improved visibility of hired assets across all projects, a centralized spend data, enabling smarter procurement decisions, utilization reporting, helping identify underutilized or excess kit, and crucially for us, better visibility of external hire spend and leakage. Just thinking about that last point, for us, that's really key because our drive is to deliver more of our own assets and obviously bring value into BAM. So one of the things that will bring us is that opportunity to see leakage. We can then turn that into self-delivery, which again improves efficiency and keeps value within BAM. We really are delivering strategic, operational and financial impact. BAM Site Solutions isn't just a logistics or hire service. We're a strategic enabler of operational excellence, a commercial partner reducing cost and waste, and a data-driven business unit supporting smarter project delivery. With our model, our people and our systems, we are ready to scale and adapt as BAM UK and I evolves. As we look to the future, we're focused on supporting major infrastructure and construction projects, growing our self-delivery capability, deepening our insight through data, and continuing to improve service for our BAM project colleagues. We're 3 years in, and the next chapter is all about growth, value creation, and delivering an ever greater impact. So just to summarise, we are a key enabler for BAM UK and Ireland. We offer full site support services with a flexible delivery model, and we're investing in technology, which is really about this rental result piece, to standardise and scale. And we're here to turn data into decisions and service into value. So that's a really whistle-stop tour about Site Solutions and what we're doing with the rental result project. But needless to say, this is a really big step for us and really positions us in a strong position for further growth through 2026. So that's me, Jimmy. Back to you, and hope that was insightful.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jason. Like I said, I really appreciate you being able to dial in today. I know it's
no problem.
I know it's a late day here in the UK, but yeah, this is just comes to show that over the course of the relationship that we've had with BAM over in the UK for all of those years, that the innovation never dies. We roll with the technological changes, and as businesses transform, we've spoken a bit over the last day or so around transformation and how businesses evolve. We spoke with McGough yesterday about how the system they implemented in 2018 looks nothing like the way the system needs to operate today, and the same goes for what's happening with Jason and his team over at BAM. But looking at the value from our perspective and what we see in terms of the ROI for that project, being able to consolidate your supply chain down into just a handful of re-rent vendors, being able to pool that spend and being able to do better things with that consolidation of spend, and not having to deal with hundreds of different formats of invoices from hundreds of different vendors is also a key benefit to the streamlining of efficiencies and improvements across businesses. So I just want to extend a big thank you for Jason for joining. Can we just give Jason a round of applause? We'll let Jason disappear now and go again. Thanks very much, Jason. Really.
Thanks, everyone. Nice to meet you, Michael. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Jason.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, so we'll moving on then. So next up, I'm again absolutely thrilled, and thank you so much, Mike, for joining. Mike's up in Ohio with Messer Construction, and again, so similar to BAM, we've had a really good, strong partnership with Messer, with Mike and the lovely Becky, who some of you will know from previous user summits. Becky's normally here. She's been a massive advocate as well for the Emerald user group, as has Mike. So I'm absolutely thrilled to have Mike here today to talk to us about their subcontractor initiative that they're now embarking on. And again, so a similar message here around, business transformation and efficiencies and how we can leverage technology and clever thinking with how we're processing and how we're dealing and interacting with subcontractors that are coming onto our own job sites, and how we can leverage the best use of, it's not just about the technology and the software, but also about process and relationships and communication as well. And Mike, I think when we sat down and I think one of the questions I asked you was what problem are we trying to solve? I think the response back was, we've got 30% of our revenue that is not transacting through rent a result, and that kind of, for me, became one of the key differentiators. So if you're happy, I'll hand over to you. And just before we do that, let me just give you a little bit of a background about Mike. So Mike is the Vice President of the Building Systems Group over at Messer. Mike joined Messer in 2002, graduating from Purdue University with a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. In Mike's current role, he leads Messer's Building Systems Group, which plans and manages the installation, startup, and commissioning of building mechanical and electrical systems, and also has executive oversight responsibilities for Messer's rental division, which provides construction rental equipment to Messer's craft force projects and subcontract partners. Mike completed the Ohio State University's $325 million North Residential District Transformation Project, 2016 AGC Build Ohio Award winner, built to redefine the student experience. His other project experience includes award-winning the Ohio Judicial Center, Grant Hospital Revitalization, IGS Corporate Headquarters, Ohio Dominican Student Center, Scotio Mile, Battelle Building 8, and Mount Carmel Street, St. Anne's Project Grace. Mike serves his community as a board member for the USO Ohio, an organization dedicated to strengthening America's military service members by keeping them connected to family, home, and country throughout their service to the nation. That is a very, very impressive bio, and I'm like I said, I'm absolutely thrilled to have Mike here today. So, Mike, I'll hand over to you to talk to us about MES.
Thank you, Jimmy. And I want to say to everyone in the room, that's the first time I've ever been introduced that way, and it was incredibly uncomfortable for me. So thanks for.
I apologize.
That's okay. That's not used to that. So, but thank you. I really do appreciate being here. Again, I apologize for not being able to be there in person. I have a brother-in-law who actually lives in Phoenix. I would have loved to have gone. I might not have made the meeting if we met up outside of work, but I am glad to be here as well. So a bit about Messer, I guess, first. So we are a regional contractor, commercial builder, construction manager, and we do have our own craft force. So we complete about $2 billion of complex commercial construction every year. We employ 650 craft. And we, the Messer rental division, really started out as being, quote unquote, the yard for our craft force. So as we grew in size as a company, and we are employee owned, I should add. So the dollars made stay in the company. We continue to build the company not only in size but in capacity, and where we invest our dollars back into ourselves. So Currently, the Messer Rental Division has a fleet value of a little over $40 million, I should say, and we're performing about $32 million in rental revenue every year, not only to our own craft force and our own projects, but also our subcontract partners on our own projects. So that is sort of the MES initiative that we've had as we've started working with our own subcontractors to provide equipment to them. So kind of give you the quick background of how that program developed. It was really developed to enhance safety and two other items. So we really, again, developed the product offering to our subs to enhance safety. We wanted to lock in rental costs for our owners to reduce their cost and unknowns over our long project durations, 2 and 3 year projects. Then, of course, we wanted to increase opportunities for ourselves in equipment investment and running back to our own projects. So hit those one more time. Enhance project safety through really reducing third-party traffic on our sites, improve quality of the equipment of our sites and the service reliability because we're doing it ourselves. We wanted to maintain rental rates on projects, reduce costs for owners, and we wanted to then give ourselves the opportunity to increase the ROI on our investment in our own equipment. That's kind of the background of the MES program. The current state, as Jimmy said, it's about a third of our revenue at this point. So we're forecasting for FY25. Our fiscal year ends in September. We're forecasting an $8 million in revenue generated through renting to our subcontractors on our own sites. We're using this program on about 30 of our projects, and we're engaging with about 75 subcontract partners at this point where we are their rental provider. We're growing our rental revenue over the past 3 years at about $2.5 million a year. So year over year, $2.5 million over the past 3. And then I like to call it the consequences of success we're experiencing. So currently we have a contract management strain on orders and returns due to the increased volumes, and then the invoice management within the rental results program as well. So those are the pain points that we have, or the increased contract management in the invoice process through rental results. So that's where we contacted out to Jimmy's team and started talking through what can we do differently. So the future state and what we're working currently on with WIN is creating a subcontractor portal. So through that, be similar to the portal that already exists within rental result, but we would want to create a separate page, if you will, or separate homepage to offer a subset of our own fleet, not everything that we would offer to our own craft force, but a subset of that to our subcontractors. So this would be a self-service platform for ordering equipment, the invoice retrieval, equipment on job reports, and initiating pickup requests and service requests on equipment. So rather than continuing to task my team with answering the phone and moving through more of a manual process, we're looking to create that self-service through the portal and the WIN platform. So the expected outcome of that is really a few things. Increased customer satisfaction of our subcontractors, one. So we want them to continue to choose us to rent through, to make that process as easy as possible for them and continue to grow that revenue stream without pushback. We want to become viewed through the technology as closer to a third-party rental house, right? So you think of the third-party rentals you work with now, they have an online presence that we don't currently have. We want to increase the revenue through a published catalog. So when you're communicating either by a piece of paper or through word of mouth, people forget what you're actually offering them, right? So this interface through WIN will allow that catalog to not only change in real time, but to be present in real time for those subcontractors. And again, we want to increase those offering over time as well. So as the concept develops, we're going to start large with larger pieces of equipment and eventually continue to ramp up what is offered to those subcontractors. So the other outcome that I'm most excited about, being the person responsible for the numbers, is the slowing the growth of overhead to revenue ratio, right? So more revenue, less overhead. That's what I'm shooting for in terms of the benefits from the highest level picture that you can think of. So anyway, Jimmy, did I miss anything? I think that covers the extent of the project that we're working on with you to create.
Yeah, I don't think you missed anything. From my perspective, I think, we guys in the room, we looked yesterday at some of the roadmap items, and I know you looked at the BAM version of the new portal, but I think the message in here today is just, the diversification of business and innovation and technology go hand in hand with trying to be more strategic, trying to offer better partnerships, trying to consolidate your spending, trying to generate efficiencies and maximizing on your potential for your own profit centers. I think, Mike, it's fair to say, I think as part of this development that we're looking to do, we're looking to provide a platform for the subcontractors to be able to fully manage their invoicing through the job site portal as well, which should hopefully leverage and give them what I class as a one-stop shop, a fully fledged platform where they can procure goods, they can call goods off rent, they can challenge and dispute things, but they can also get to their documentation, which is important as well. So I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to pick up on that, Mike, or whether I've covered the headline there.
I think you covered all the headlines. Is that it's easier for our own people to manage the process and less hands-on, less emails, less emailing of invoices. So again, everybody gets it easier through technology. Agreed.
I don't know if anyone's got any questions, but I think I don't know whether there'll be any you'll be able to hear. I don't know if anyone got any questions and we want to try it. If not, keep them to yourself. You can bring them to me afterwards, or most of you guys have got my email address. You can all reach out to me. Come find me in the breakouts and talk to me, and I'll help answer any questions you might have around that. But I think, Mike, unless there's nothing else from you, I'll probably wrap up and let you disappear there. Again, I just want to extend a massive thank you to Mike for taking some time out of his day to virtually be here with us, and huge respect for what you're doing. You're a great partner. We have a great partnership. We have great candor. Guys, please give us a round of applause, Mike.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess any questions? Open the floor. We'll have a group chat. We've got a little bit of time left. You have your hand up, Chanel. How are you?
Are they using it for rent? We rent to external to the trade partners, or only their own equipment?
So yeah, good concept, and that's a great question. So I think both. So I think when Mike and I spoke about this, it was the number one goal is to protect the utilization of the Messer internal fleet. Number one. I think when we were looking at the numbers around their subcontractor base across their job sites. And they're obviously partnered up with subbies, and they bring them on, and they bring their own equipment. So they're renting their own equipment from Sunbelt, the same as what Messer will be doing. So what this initiative is going to allow them to do is consolidate and pool that spend. So similar to the BAM story, they're doing a very, very similar thing. They've got their own equipment, and that's the utilization on their own equipment is priority number one. But where we can't provide the equipment to either internal Messer or BAM employees through internal equipment, then the secondary step in that process will be look to the re-rent vendors. And what both are looking to do is consolidate those vendor lists down, and that's another key talking point around vendor management. So I'm sure everyone in the room's got a vendor list as long as they're armed that they may need to call upon. We've got Sunbelt, United here in the US. It's very similar in the UK. And I've certainly spoken to both BAM and Messer around vendor management. And one of the biggest challenges is just how do you manage such a diverse and varied vendor list? They all, I know, for the most part, most of them do the same equipment. But there are obviously some specialist vendors that you would go to for specialist equipment. But one of the challenges that we found was that having multiple vendors gave us a bigger headache across different departments. So I'll take AR and AP for an example. If you've got 40 different vendors and you're renting equipment from 40 different vendors, you're getting 40 different formats of invoices into the accounts department. So the guys and girls in the accounts department are looking at different formats. And I think back when I was in construction, there was a horrendous stat that 80% or 84% of the data that existed in systems around equipment rentals was inaccurate. So it could be the expected off-rent date didn't match what was on the initial order. Things had just been extended. I want this for a month, but 6 months later, it's still out on rent. But also the amount of moving parts within rental and the rental industry causes a problem for invoicing as well. So as an example of that, so some of the key points that I've seen in my time in the industry around what constitutes an invoice query, and I think there's some stat that it costs about $24. It's with inflation and tariffs, it's probably gone up to about $35 now to process an invoice. You've got dates, you've got rental rates, you've got quantities, you've got descriptions, you've got off-rent dates that all play a part in an invoice. And if they don't match, then you're going to get an invoice query. And then there's going to be an exceptions handling queue for that invoice query. So that then causes another set of sub-processes that the AR and AP department have to manage. Then they're going to have to speak to the job sites. I've got a dispute on this. Can you check it and verify? So as part of that kind of process, and then both BAM and Messer are doing this, is consolidating their supply chains down to a smaller, more manageable pool of vendors. And I'm really talking 2 or 3 here. So already we're going to see a benefit in AR and AP because they're going to get 3 different types of invoice formats, and they're going to be more familiar with the formatting of the invoices, and they're going to have a better tie-in electronically with those vendors for better accuracy. But one of the biggest things for me is from a procurement standpoint. Being able to reduce your supply chain down from, say, 40 down to 3 allows you to spend more money with that smaller pool of vendors. And what that opens the opportunity for is rebates. And in the procurement world, rebates, everyone loves a rebate. Before I joined Win, I spent 13 years working in the construction industry. I went from managing our own equipment, anything from a drill up to piling, rigs, excavators, dump trucks, a lot. We sold it all, and we went pure re-rent for that very reason. We were able to spend with, I think, just 3 vendors. We were able to spend in excess of 10 million British pounds each with those vendors per year, and we reduced our supply chain down. I think we had 156 re-rent vendors on our supply chain at the time. We reduced that down to 3. And that allowed us to say, I'm going to give each one of you a minimum of 10 million spend based on our projections. And we had milestones leading up to that 10 million, which meant we got a percentage of that back in rebate. It also allowed us to negotiate preferential rates as well. So if I'm going to put volume into a specific vendor for a set of products, then I want the best market rate I can possibly get for that piece of equipment. So what you're adding value all round. And I think in the end, what we were able to do was we had a team of about 20 people in an office. Those rebates paid for that team and that office space. So it was almost negated out from that. Yeah.
I don't know anything about rebates. What's a good percentage of a rebate? Yeah. You guys get rebates?
I'd be careful on rebates if you're doing any kind of public work.
Yeah.
We don't actually use rebates. We actually ask for the lowest price.
Yeah.
If you're running it as a profit center, I'd just be really careful on rebates.
Yeah, that's it.
There's sophisticated owners out there they'll get the rebate from you. It won't be your rebate anymore.
Yeah.
So I think at Mortenson, we do a lot of this. This is the $40 to $60 million business for us each year. I think we all know what the benefits are to us. I think you've got to flip it. You've got to make sure that you can articulate the benefits to your trade partners and to the client.
What are those?
You got to think about uptime. You got to think about dedicated technicians on your job sites, and you got to be able to quantify. A sophisticated owner is going to see through the smoke and mirrors, and they're going to say, well, what is the benefit to me other than Mortenson making more revenue on your equipment?
Yeah.
So make sure you can articulate that. Safety and quality is obviously really important, but site logistics is big. If you're facilitating, we put a dedicated team on all of our trade partner rental jobs, where it's our equipment solutions team facilitating it. So we're taking the burden off of our construction team. So our construction team can focus on building the job. We can focus on managing the logistics and the equipment, which is a more efficient and clean job site for the client. And then we show them the freight savings that they would have paid if every sub brings their own equipment. We'll negotiate with the Uniteds, the Sunbelts, the Hercs to get freight in and out of they won't charge it to us, right? There's quantifiable enhancements, and then the utilization. If the average utilization on a construction job for 19-foot scissor lifts is 20%, we want to be able to quantify and say on this job, we utilized our 19-foot scissor lifts 85% of the time, whatever the case may be.
Are 19-foot scissor lifts a good starting point?
They are.
Yes.
I would caution, if you're going down this path, I would focus on interior lifts only, and then focus on your MVP trades. Don't try to go and do everything from a pallet jack to, focus on your interior scissor lifts. Low risk, easily to get, right? You can swap them out. They're pretty low maintenance, but we didn't make the mistake, but we have learned that bigger isn't always better. We have focused really on just our interior scissor lifts and material handling.
You talk about the utilization. If there's, you have a job site with 80 scissor lifts because everybody's renting their own.
No.
You guys do your own. What number? How many scissor lifts are you going to have now? I assume it will be less, right? That's the selling point.
Typically, it depends on the job and the decks and whatever you're doing, but typically we say it's probably 25% less equipment than what a normal job site would have. And that's because we're managing it. We're getting the trades in a room. We're saying, give me your schedule. What do you need? And then we manage the equipment. If someone needs a 19-foot scissor lift for 4 weeks, instead of them letting bring it, take it away, and then we got another truckload coming, we say, okay, now that electrician's done, the mechanical needs it. We keep that equipment and we keep it going rather than just a bunch of equipment laying around. But typically it's 20 to 30% less equipment.
Does that coordinator who's managing all that charge for the job? Or
we cover that. And that's another selling point, is we cover that in our rental rates, which is also why we want to buy it for as cheap as we can. We don't take the rebate. We want to buy it for as cheap as we can to cover our overhead.
And then they're coordinating with all the trades on the job, right? When you need what.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to do this from a contract perspective, but we're also helping them manage budgets. They owe us a plan with our rental rates, and we can talk to the job and the leadership team to say, hey, this sub is drastically over what they said they were going to need.
Yeah.
So we help manage the budgets as well.
So what's a skill set for someone that you're looking to hire that does that job?
Honestly, the first big jobs we did, we hired very entry-level logistical people that could manage ins and outs, people that could talk to customers. They'll learn the equipment. And then we bring, if it is heavy re-rent, we'll bring our vendor partner along with us. We make them have skin in the game with us. Yeah. We make United put a team, or whoever needs United. We make them put a team on the job site with us. They give us the text, depending on how many pieces of equipment. They give us a laydown yard, the temp structures. We put a corral of equipment on the job site. So if it's a major down, we just swap it out right on the job site if you have the space. But make your vendor partner have skin in the game with it.
And those costs, are you putting it into the GCs or you're pushing it out to the subs?
Depends. If you're renting direct to a sub, you build a sub. If you're buying it out, you're doing a provided program, then it's in your GCPR budgets.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think just to wrap up around the comment around one-stop shop, which obviously adds benefit to everybody involved in that process because of efficiencies in processing. The ability, and this speaks to both the BAM and the MESA side of things, being able to have centralized visibility of what's out where within like the job site portal. So this goes for internal equipment and re-rented equipment as well. Both will be utilized in re-rent what's out where reports. So this allows the teams to have better control and visibility of what's being rented externally. And if it is a case that they want to maximize utilization on internal equipment, then they've got the ability to be able to transact that through the system to be able to identify what's out from Sunbelt or United or Herc, and call those off rent and swap them out with internal equipment. So you're maximizing your own fleet utilization and reducing your downtime on that investment from your own. So
on that, part of the mods we did for BAM, the 4 weeks or yesterday, we also modified the control center so you can see it highlights a row if somebody has raised a back-to-back order for equipment available, so call that order control center. So before you dispatch it, it'll show you that some available in the yard and somebody's raised a re-rent for it.
Yeah. That's a very good point. Thank you, Mike. Yes, you've got checks and balances as part of the process now, as Mike said. So even to the point where the requisitions come in and you're in the control center and you see it, you've got a visual indicator that tells you you've got internal availability for your equipment as well. So perfect.
Was that in there currently? The new.
That's part of the thing.
Yeah. So it'll be out this year. Yeah.
Scary language on the call. That's not. It wasn't Gary.
Gary's boss. I'll just tell Gary's boss to tell Gary to get it done.
I'd be like, no, we're full of people waiting. Come on, let's go.
Part of that. So perfect. Any other questions? Thoughts, comments?
Mentioned to me that one.
Possibly. Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, again, as part of the fall from modifications that we saw yesterday for BAM, they're defining piece of equipment 2 or 3, or possibly even 1 vendor that can be re-rented from some job site, specify a preference that if it's not BAM equipment, it comes from a vendor, but BAM, the centralized BAM team control that vendor. Because what they found the job sites would just go in. If BAM didn't have it, they rang up whoever they liked.
Yeah.
My best friend works for Bob's Rentals down the road. I'll get it to them. That's happened anymore. He comes from all of the vendors on the list on the form.
And that's the control mechanism, as I said, reducing and consolidating your supply chain down, being able to control that through the software to say, these are who we've got the agreements and the deals with and the best rates. These are the only ones you can select from. So you remove that need to go to Bob's Rentals. There are always caveats to that, and there are what I call backstops within the system to be able to override that. But that would be done by a professional user. So somebody with authority to make that decision on a rental desk to be able to override that, because we all know there's variables in the industry. And, it could be there's an emergency and I need this piece of equipment and our preferred vendor doesn't have it. So you have to go outside of that supply chain. I could probably talk to you all day about leakage reports and how we work with supply chain about availability.
Is there enough interest that when this does get rolled out to production that we have like a WebEx team call to walk through it and it? Could we do that, Jim?
I think, yeah.
I mean, because otherwise it'll be the normal release. You get the release notes and the release notes, which are so helpful.
Yeah.
And try to figure it out yourself. But if there's enough interest, we can maybe do do a big WebEx and just kind of walk through it. We'll get Mike to do it.
Yeah. Well volunteered. Well volunteered, Mike.
Mike, so you're not the only one that gets volunteered.
Yeah.
My entire life you've been told to do
No, but we could get somebody to,
I think this is big enough. Yeah, this is big enough. I think with the portal screen UI changes and the new features coming in there and the other features which are going to become available, I think this piece is big enough when that release comes out that we do a deep dive section on that.
Third quarter of this year.
Conservatively, I would say third quarter, yeah.
Does everybody want Gary's contact information?
Yes, I want to find him on the.
And everybody just having to get everything signed off. And
Angry mob.
Angry mob, pitchforks and all. Or we could all take a trip to the UK and see it in person. Do that too. So.
Is Frank paying for that?
No, I was hoping you would pay for that.
Second. Okay, we just got a couple of minutes. Any other final thoughts or questions? Second. Feel free to go get lunch.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
They were setting up.